Hi, this is Melanie for the Pardesi channel. I'm here to do a review of the Kannada film KGF, Kolar Gold Fields, starring Yash. I was so excited because one of my local theaters that never usually shows Kannada films did get KGF, so I was able to see it tonight in the original Kannada, hear Yash's own voice, which I really appreciated, not watching a dub movie. But it was available at this theater in Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, and Kannada. I think they were maybe sharing one screen and alternating different showtimes for the different languages. But still, this was a theater that normally wouldn't play a Kannada film, so it was exciting. It did not get as wide of release as maybe it could have, the way that maybe Hombale did, because it's just a very crowded time to try to get screens because of all the holiday movies that we have. Hollywood blockbusters like Aquaman and Mary Poppins Return, and there's Oscar movies and just so many films. I actually had a Twitter message exchange with someone from the U.S. distributor, and I was saying to them, because they were saying, well, it's available Thursday night, but I wasn't able to go last night. And they were pointing out that I could have seen a show and I couldn't see it until tonight. But anyway, they were saying, yeah, it was hard to get screens, and I just said I appreciated that they went that extra mile to have so many languages available here in the Chicago area. Does it live up to all the hype? I'm going to try to make this pretty spoiler free, and for the most part, yes, it does, especially the second half, and seeing that full Kolar Gold Fields set. Wow, it was amazing. There was a lot of, though, style over substance. Now, I did prepare for this movie by watching Ugram. So I watched the same director, Prashanth Neel's first film, which I really enjoyed. And then I also watched Yash's blockbuster film, Googly, which was a very different kind of persona, more zany, college love story kind of thing. So I'm glad that I had a perspective on both of their work before. I think this one, the money paid off in the sets and the production design were absolutely incredible. And the action sequences did live up, although the way they were cut and edited, you didn't always get kind of the full impact of seeing everything that happened. It was just sort of all these quick cuts that I don't know, it was kind of choppy sometimes. And in general, there was cinematography sometimes absolutely gorgeous in the way the sun backlit Yash, especially in the clouds of dust of the minefields. Amazing cinematography in those sections. But some other sections, it was so, and it almost seemed like it was post-production, shaky camera kind of effect. Kind of stuff that we had from the Bourne movies, where I'm used to that now, and especially close quarters fight scenes, which that the Bourne movies excelled in that. And it was, you were supposed to have that sort of off-kilter feeling of all the action happening so fast. Problem is, this movie was using it all the way through. So it could just be trucks coming down a highway with their headlights, and you're just having all this shaky. And I talked to a couple after the movie, and the wife especially mentioned, I said, yeah, it was almost making me dizzy, like I needed Dramamine to watch this movie because there was so much of that shakiness kind of effect. It was a bit too much for me. I'm just going to say that. But some of the other cinematography was absolutely gorgeous. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Okay, Yash, I thought had such a presence, but it was definitely a love letter to his stardom because there was so much slow-mo, so much, I don't know, just, star kind of scenes. But he lives up to it for the most part, and his action sequences looked really, really cool. Most of the movie is him looking really, really cool, and the period costumes look great. His shaggy haircut and beard, perfect. Looked really good. In fact, one of my favorite scenes that we saw in the full complete trailer is when he's having a fight with someone and uses the guy's hand to like wipe back his big mop of hair. Epic. The negative though is the poor heroine hardly had anything to do. Srinidhi Shetty has a really interesting introduction scene. But Yash's lines to her is literally something like, has one look at her, obviously, you know, has that struck with love kind of look, and then just says, "You're lucky. I'm in love with you. You're my woman." It's essentially like that. And she's just, I mean, unfortunately, she does give it back to him like, "What the hell are you talking about, bud?" And she gives him a lot of attitude. That I like, but she doesn't even get a dance number or anything. I mean, Yasha's character is too cool to even dance. People dance around him in the couple of numbers that there are, but he just kind of strides with style and a cigarette. Not that he didn't look great, but I'm just saying it wasn't the kind of movie that had dance numbers where our stars danced together or anything. And I just felt, after I left the theater, I was like, oh, she didn't even get a number. You know, she didn't even get that much. Whether, now this is only part one, whether there'll be more in part two with her, I don't know, but they really didn't give her much in this one. To me, and I talked again to this couple after the movie, that it was confusing for all of us. There were so many bad guys who all had beards, and it was hard to keep everybody straight. It's supposed to be kind of that people are shades of gray, and that people that you're introduced to that you're not sure if they're the bad guys or sort of on his side or what. And I understand that complexity. I'm just saying everyone's look was so similar. Literally, we were talking after the movie and we're like, yeah, we wouldn't know. Were we supposed to root for those bearded guys, or was he with those bearded guys? It was confusing. It was very confusing because everyone's look in some ways was similar and hard to keep. Because I'm not familiar with all of these Kannada actors, it was confusing to me who everyone was and their relationship, because the narrator was telling us this, you know, this guy, and he has these two sons, and then it was just quick, and then it was hard to keep track of everybody. I almost need a flow chart. So maybe that's to get people to watch the movie 5 times in a row so you can figure it out and you see all the cool action scenes over and over again. I don't know. That might be the director's intention. But overall, I was very satisfied, especially with the second half. Oh my gosh. The first half is a lot of setting up the character of Rocky and why he's so epic, why he's so cool, why everyone fears him, why he is so fierce, his origins. We saw it in the trailer where he says, you know, I want the world. His mother wants him, her dying wishes for him to be wealthy and powerful. And, you know, he goes after that with gusto. Now, the second half, after the interval, when we see what's happening at the Kolar Gold Fields, oh my gosh, the production design was incredible. The sets that they have built, incredible. And, you know, here we're seeing a hitman kind of character who obviously still has a heart of gold. We see some scenes that show how he's sympathetic to single mothers and so forth from his own upbringing, and certain scenes that show that he has a heart to him. He's not just that heartless hitman. But, and of course, you know, all these slave miners who need a hero. Well, you can see where this is going. But just watching it unfold, incredible. And just all of the dust made certain scenes, everyone was in different shades of gray, or then the sunset was going on them and everyone was bathed in gold light. It was stunningly beautiful, the way the cinematography captured all of those scenes. It was an incredibly large set, and all the money that they put into it really paid off because it looked incredible on screen. My jaw was on the floor in several scenes in the second part. Very well done. Action scenes in the second half, very satisfying. So this is chapter 1, but we do reach a point that is not It's not like who did Katsuba killed level cliffhanger. There's still work, you know, you can tell there's more to the story. You're hungry for more, but you're satisfied that we came to a good chapter ending. And then the climax scene, wow. Even, I mean, literally, my jaw, in the theater, I'm like this. It was really something. And really well done and exciting and different. It lived up to a lot of the hype, although I will say the movie in general was kind of long, and especially the first half. There was so much of the slow-mo in the style over some substance. I don't know if it had the complete heart that, for instance, Ugram did for me. Ugram had more of that love story, and that is what appeals to someone like me. Now, it also had really cool action scenes in Ugram. This does too, but it seemed like this movie was leaning more towards cool style, cool shots, cool hero. It's all focused on the hero, and just, you know, like I said, the love story was kind of lacking because they were sort of winking at us. It was just, it was sort of so over the top that it wasn't kind of tugging your heart. It was just like, I'm going to deliver this great line. A little bit of quibble. So I would say it's above average, but literally someone asked me after the movie, how did this measure up, for instance, to Bahubali? Well, Bahubali for me is 5-star. Okay, it's all the way on the top. And then this is above average, really good, but not Bahubali level. Although they did give some flourishes in there that obviously were some nods to Bahubali. Like there's a statue that someone pulls a big burgundy cloth off to reveal a big statue. And, you know, there's a scene where Yash is pulling a big cart of something heavy all by himself, just sort of like Prabhas. I mean, they were giving you some echoes of that, and I didn't have any problem with that. Homage is fine with me. And I didn't feel like it was copying. I almost thought it was tipping their hat to that, and I was fine with it. It would just amuse me in the moment. I'm very much looking forward to part 2. I'm looking forward to seeing more films with Yash. I feel like Yash has a real presence, and people have recommended several films to me. I hope I can find some more of his films, because definitely Googly was something very different. But I'm glad to have seen that, just to see the range that he has. As an actor, I really admire him, and I thought he did a really good job in this film in KGF. I don't know enough about any of the other actors to really say. There was an interesting framing device where we're going back and forth between, you know, there's scenes way back in the past in the 1950s. We have a present day narration from a reporter, and, you know, so some of it went a little crazy with the non-linear, where all of a sudden the person he's telling, a woman newscaster, says, "Are you skipping ahead again?" I mean, it kind of got funny, but it happened more than one time. And I almost felt like the director's like, "Oh yeah, I've got another idea for another really cool scene." And it was just kind of thrown in there. And then they made it yet another time leap, non-linear thing that the report... I don't know, it was a bit much because it happened more than once. If it had been one time, but it was more than once. So I'm waiting to see what they've saved up for the even more epic battles ahead for this hitman wanting to take over the world in Chapter 2. I'll be eagerly awaiting that film. If you know how long we have to wait, if they filmed everything all at the same time or what happened, I'm eager to know how long I have to wait for Chapter 2. Please do let me know in the comments what you thought of KGF, if it lived up to your expectations and all of the hype. Please like and share this video. Follow me on Twitter at PardeziYT. Subscribe here, and if you hit the bell, then you'll get a notification whenever I have a new trailer reaction or film review.